Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Last Stand Gamers, and welcome. So today I want to take you around one of my latest constructions, one of my new additions to the fleet. Now this ship here is something very special, something that I've taken a little bit extra care with building. It's something I like to call the Snapping Turtle. I call it the Snapping Turtle because it's got these sort of turtle-like engine pods sticking out from the main shell, as well as this turtle-shaped head. And a turtle can take quite a battering, and so can this ship, but this one also snaps back with these two main sort of battle cannons mounted on both the top and the bottom. Now you're probably wondering why there's not a variety of automated weapons on this ship. The reason for that is this is built for turret based battles, so you can imagine another ship like this, maybe manned by Sage or some of the other guys, and they're fighting against a small crew of 3 on my ship as well, so we've got these turrets firing up against each other rather than a lot of automated sort of madness. So let's actually have a look around the ship and I'll show you what's going on. So first off, we've got this sort of cockpit. Now when it comes to actually building a cockpit, there's a lot of different things you can take into consideration, like your placement. You're going to place it within the middle of the ship, you're going to place it at the front, the back, the rear, or you're going to have a backup cockpit. So for this instance, what I've got here is this dome-like cockpit that also has these extended wings, so you can actually stand here right on the end and look all the way to the back of the ship to see if someone's pursuing you. There's also a hidden internal cockpit. So if we continue along the neck of the turtle, we come to its first main battle cannon. Now these things are absolutely deadly. They're using them triple sort of missile launchers, and after a little bit of a discussion with the community about what sort of turrets are the most effective, this is what we've came up with in design. Instead of having the standard battleship sort of turret where the actual turret and weapons are mounted within the housing, we've got it simply on an arm connected up to a rotor here. And if we hop inside, we can actually see the smoothness and the movement of this, and there's not too much risk of damaging it after you feel a lot more comfortable behind the controls of this sort of turret. So we've got left and right, we've got up and down, we can also see all the doors on the side. Have you noticed it's also made of all light armor, so it's just a light sort of ship, and the light armor really shows the damage, and that's what we want to see in them sort of small scale battles. You want to make it fair because the heavy armor absorbs damage after damage, shot after shot. So if we go to G, we have the missiles equipped. We can actually fire a few rounds off. You can just see the ultimate sort of firepower. We've also got tubes connected up into there where we've got a resupply crate. And this little turret itself just looks so cool to actually have spinning around. You've got some really good arcs as well. You've got basically all across the top. Obviously there's some limiting arcs by the actual shell of the ship, but the idea of having this turret in here is to actually give it some protection as well from some of them other angles. So just a really simple and quite exciting little turret there to show off. Now let's hop out and have a look around the rest of the ship. So if I can get through the door, we can actually come down the back and we can start to see some of the first engine pods. We've also got the turret under there that I'll get onto a little bit later. Now these engine pods are all the same, they're just stuck at different sorts of angles as well to add the little bit of protection, as well as keeping as many engines intact. And I like to put engines in pods because it does a lot less sort of risk to the center of the hull of the ship. Like if the engines in the center of the hull of the ship get taken out, you're going to have a much larger problem than the ones that are on these wings. These wings can literally explode off and you can continue going, where if you start targeting the central hull, you're going to have holes everywhere. It's going to be a mess. You could even have your engines and your generators targeted. So we've got the engines there, we've got 2 large thrusters, and we've got a whole variety of small ones in a small, neat sort of package. Now if we move down below, we've also got some interesting sort of construction. I really went full out with the detailing on this ship, trying to get these ribs, trying to get these different sorts of construction, and behind all of these little plates we've got armor as well. So we'll finally drop down to the last and the large turret. So this turret underneath is to protect from the sort of attack from below sort of situation. Something I like to say is like a sort of B-17 sort of turret. You can spin this thing around, take out targets that are approaching from behind. Obviously they're not made to engage fighters, they're made to engage like other large ships. Like we've got that one over there, we've got the hull of the other one. So let's equip our rocket launchers and take a shot at the hull of that other ship from underneath. So once the lasers are on, we can take our shot. And you can see we've got a nice little dent there. So this is going to be really nice to see when we get into a multiplayer sort of scenario. Now if we head out here, we can actually get inside. Now there's a few different ways inside. The primarily one is through the Hangar Bay. So in the Hangar Bay here, we have room for just 1 or 2 small fighters. It's not really meant to launch too many fighters, but let's head towards the rear of the ship first. So in the rear of the ship, we have the engine room, supported by 4 main large reactors. and we've got catwalks everywhere so our engineers can get around, access the generators and do repairs when necessary. We've also got an upper catwalk so we can watch above and try to get different angles in case we're boarded and we have to take out an attacker. And through here we have the entrance into the next area. Now in here we have, you can see this lovely tan sort of room with control panels. These control panels can be also used to lock off the turrets while we're in transport, but you can also move the turrets while you're in transport as long as you've got a person in them. So we're moving through here. We actually have the underdeck where we store some of the more vital sort of supplies. We've got some weapons and other equipment in them cargo containers. And through here we have the area that accesses our gravity generator just through there like so. And we can also have access to outside the ship. In a quick way you can run out the cockpit, drop down below and escape the vessel if it's in that sort of stricken position. Now let's head up to the bridge. So this is the bridge of the ship. We've got this sort of smooth sort of design. All the generators are currently just unwired. Sorry, not generators, buttons are unwired. I've not found enough switches, but I think you can make some interesting sort of combinations if you have these switches next to your sort of cockpit seats. You can make a bridge really look like a bridge now. You can also see a prototype version of the turtle over there without his head on. And if we head up to the upper area, we can also see that we've got a small viewing deck, as well as having access to be able to see behind the ship. And I think this is really important, the ability you can just look up and see that cannon fire. Wow, it's just so cool. I just can't wait to get this thing into a turret sort of style battle with some of the other guys. Anyway guys, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, having a look around this ship today with me, and I'd like to hear a bit of your feedback on it and maybe some ways of even improving it, getting it a little bit better and a bit more ready sort of for battle, you could even say. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.